Greetings, Public Health 400 students. This is Cotton, your Public Health Librarian. I'm sending out some videos addressing your individual group topics. And so these videos are going to be considerably shorter than the last one, but they're really going to focus entirely on your specific topic. If it feels like you're sort of being thrown into the deep end or you're just going kind of way too quickly in these videos, please go back and check the previous video that was sent over, as well as the how-to videos on the research guide. That can really give you some context on how these are working as searches. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this video is for the topic of prescription drug overdose. Now, with any sort of addiction or substance abuse component, I do recommend checking out APA PsycInfo. That does have quite a bit of literature pertaining to these topics. And here we are on APA PsycInfo. Now, this is going to look different than it used to. The interface has been updated. However, it's still the same database. You can add in keywords right here, and you're going to be good to go. However, I'm going to try to use the filters and the subjects to my advantage. And I can do that just by scrolling down. I might select peer-reviewed because I want to make sure that any results I get back are from peer-reviewed journal articles. I would ignore the rest of these for the time being. And I can also go over to subjects. Now, when I'm looking for subjects, this can be really helpful because I don't need to think about what terminology they're using. These subjects are going to sort of catch all of that. And so in this context, I can come in here and type prescription drugs. And when I do, I see right away at the top, we have prescription drugs. I can check this little box and then click add to search right here. And there we go, we see it in our search. However, that's not our entire search, right? So I can also go back in here and type in overdose. And we see drug overdoses right away, so I can select that and click add to search for that. And now I'm asking for any articles that are peer-reviewed, but also have both prescription drugs and drug overdoses listed as subject headings within this article. So when I click search, I get back 311 results. And these are all dealing, as we can see, with overdoses and specifically prescription drug overdoses. So from here, I can narrow these down a little bit further. I might say I want only the last 5 years. And now we're at 123 articles, which is still a lot to read in one sitting. So you can also go up into the additional filters and look into the major subject headings. In here, we might find that there's going to be other subtopics within this subject that we can look into. If we're not quite sure how we want to narrow down our research from prescription drug overdoses, we might go in here and decide, oh, well, naloxone would be actually a very interesting way to look into this. Or I can click on 43 more and take a look at all of the more commonly found subjects within these headings. If you're not quite sure about your topic, this is a great way to get insight into what's available. It can also show you sort of what are the more prominent topics within this subject. Once I've done that, then I can just start going through and accessing these articles. Some of these are available as PDFs. Some will just have find it at Public Library. If I click on this, it doesn't mean we don't have access to it. It just means it might be in a different database, as we can see here in Science Direct journals. However, I really do recommend trying this approach with the subject headings. It can be very useful and very effective for finding articles. Now, when I look up prescription drugs in PubMed, in the MeSH database, mind you, not in the regular PubMed, but in the MeSH database, we see kind of the same thing. So what I can do is really, I could lean into using just prescription drugs and adding overdose or abuse, but there's also prescription drug overuse right here, which would certainly include overdoses as well. So it might be the easiest thing to just select this, add to my search builder, and dive right in. Now we get 400 results, and they're all from the last 10 years anyway. So this is a sort of similar number of articles. However, one thing you'll note in PubMed is that the features here are a lot less robust, and it is a little bit harder to narrow these down by topic. So really, as far as prescription drug overdose is concerned, I would recommend conducting these searches, something like prescription drug overuse in PubMed, or this setup in here in APA PsycInfo. As you can see, we're getting results back. It's just up to you to figure out what best way to narrow them down. As always, if you have questions about it, let me know. Thank you. All right, so that's really what I have for today. Like I said, please feel free to reach out if you'd like more guidance. Please check out those earlier videos if it feels like this is moving way too quickly. And don't forget, I'm here on the Public Health Research Guide. You can always view the how-to videos on using the databases right here. And you can also contact me with my information right there. So thank you for your time. Good luck with your research, and let me know what I can do to help. Have a great day.